Hello and welcome back to another lesson. This lesson will naturally build on the previous lesson, D3, where my students learned about how to make the best decision based on criteria. So D4 is built on top of D3. If you see me looking down, it's because I have printed out today's lesson as per usual and I have some notes to go over as we move along on today's lesson. So yeah, welcome to the final lesson of the 16 lesson series on business English. Today we are at D4, which is stakeholder misalignment. The core skill from today's lesson is managing people with different criteria, meaning managing different expectations. It is 4 categories and it's 4 lessons per category. Here are the key vocabulary: stakeholder, alignment, misalignment, expectation, conflict. I put a little star next to expectation because I feel like that's the core of managing people with different criteria, is to be able to make the expectation realistic so there is not a crash out at the end based on differences in what each believe the results should be. Anyway, I believe that understanding the vocabulary is the foundation of understanding a lesson concept. So as always, we will begin with the vocabulary. Please read each word and tell me what you think it means. Go ahead. Good. And I usually encourage my students to simplify. Okay, that's good. Can you tell me another possible meaning? Can you make it even more simple? Good. A stakeholder is anyone involved or affected. Examples include manager, the client, the product team. Number 2. Go ahead, please. Good. Make it more simple. Good. Alignment means everyone agrees on the same direction. For example, in business deals, we need alignment. Next, misalignment. If alignment is people agree on the direction, what is misalignment? Think in that direction. Yeah, good. Misalignment means people want different things. Expectation. As we discussed a little bit earlier in the beginning of the lesson, what is another way to describe that? Keep it simple. The simpler, the more powerful. Good. Expectation is what someone thinks will happen. What someone thinks will happen. Usually different people have different expectations. And today's lesson is all about managing expectations. Let's go to number 5. Conflict. Good. Exactly. 2 things cannot happen at the same time. A conflict of interest, a conflict of values, of beliefs. For example, do you want it fast or do you want it high quality? Okay, let's look at the focus language. Please repeat each one after me. There may be different expectations across stakeholders. Perfect. We may need alignment on priorities. Good. Again, we may need, emphasize on the need, we may need alignment on priorities. Perfect. Next, it might help to clarify the primary objective. It might help to clarify the primary objective. Good. Excellent. Now, let's look at the structure for today. Label, conflict, clarifying question. So, there may be different expectations across stakeholders. That's only natural. The product team, for example, is prioritizing speed, and the client is focused on quality. It might help to clarify the primary objective, or what is the primary objective here? You see what I just did? Label of the two issues, conflict, clarifying question. Let's practice some scenarios and go from there. Okay. So scenario 1, the client wants fast delivery, the engineering team wants stability. What's the misalignment? Good. Good. And depending on my students' answer, I will push them more towards the label and to be clear about both sides. I want it to be very clear that they present two different sides, and that based on the decision, they ask a clarifying question. Being clear about both sides shows that you were clear and deliberate in making your decision. Let's do another scenario. Scenario 2. Management wants to reduce cost. The product team wants more features. Please respond. Good. Remember your key vocabulary. So I think in this case, using the word alignment would be super helpful. And then always ask a clarifying question. Okay, let's do another scenario. Last scenario. This one's a little bit more challenging. Your manager wants speed. Another team wants detailed documentation. Handle this professionally. Remember, identify clearly the two sides. Yes, you want me to repeat? Sure. Your manager wants speed. Another team wants detailed documentation. Please handle this professionally. Good. Now let's move on to the clarifying question. I'm going to give you guys some examples of clarifying questions. I think that would really help you with inserting a clarifying question at the end. So for example, when you are answering, you don't need to solve the question, the problem immediately. Instead, you can ask a question. And here are some examples. First, we can say, what is the primary objective here? What is the primary objective here? Next, which priority should we align on? Next, what is more critical at this stage? Go ahead and say all three for me, please. Good. And this is where I would point out intonation, 发音. If my students, for example, went up, when it should go down, like what is, Objective always is down, not objective, objective, things like that. Now let's go over some mistakes to watch out for. So I think the key thing sometimes is not knowing what to do, but knowing what not to do. So watch for jumping to solution too fast, for only mentioning one side, and watch out for not including a question. So something I like to say is answer questions with questions. Answer questions with questions. Perfect. So today, my students learned not just how to respond, but you learned how to manage different expectations. As we wrap up all 14 classes of business English, I want to remind you to always slow down. When you slow down, you are more clear, you are not rushed, and you're able to ask clarifying questions to the other side. Business English is about being emotionally stable and professionally sound. It's about not taking things personally and optimizing for impact. It's about labeling and not explaining. Thank you for the honor to walk you through the last 16 lessons. I hope to have an opportunity to be your one-on-one corporate English teacher. Good luck, and I will see you again in the next series. Bye.